they had taught me how to cast out demons in seminary. Nancy, did they teach you how to cast out demons in seminary? Before you got there. You know, I was much too sophisticated for that. I knew that the things that were understood as demons in biblical times were things we now understood as mental illness. I knew we had treatment for these things. I had even been trained. And as a pastor in my first appointment in northern Minnesota, I did try to help people. I offered pastoral care and counseling. I visited people who struggled with addiction and schizophrenia. I even visited people who were paralyzed by fear and judgment. Was I helpful? Who knows? I wish I could have done more. I always wish I could have done more. It wasn't until my third appointment that I really witnessed somebody casting out demons. And I was at a very sophisticated church. I led an early morning, I know this is hard to believe, an early morning Bible study. I'm not a morning person. It met at 6:30 a.m. on Friday mornings, and it was all these high-powered corporate women who wanted to have a Bible study before they went to work. We came to this passage, and we were studying this passage, and a lot of them were not relating very well to the casting out the demons thing, until one of them said, "Oh, I cast out demons all the time." And we kind of looked at her, and then she talked about it, and she said, "Usually it's in my car when I'm commuting to work, especially when I'm in traffic." And she said, "I'll just say, 'Satan, be gone.'" She says, "I'll say, 'Fear, be gone. Anger, be gone.'" She said, "I just cast out demons all the time." She also shared that she had a little picture of Jesus in the top drawer of her desk. And whenever she had to do something difficult at work, she opened the drawer and just asked Jesus to be with her. She said she couldn't be outward about her faith in her corporate setting, but she carried it with her. One of the ironic things about this woman was that she had been cast out herself. She grew up in a fundamentalist church, and when she discovered that she was attracted to women instead of men, the church elders laid hands on her and prayed and asked that the demon be excised from her life. They prayed over her many times, and she tried, but never managed to change her wiring. Eventually, she was cast out of that church. The miracle was, though, for me, that she hadn't given up on Jesus. She found a place that accepted and loved her as she was and helped her find freedom from her true demons, the things that really did separate her from God. One of those demons was alcohol. The demons that Jesus confronts and helps us cast out have three things in common. They cause self-destructive behavior in the person who suffers. The person feels trapped in the condition, and they also separate the person who suffers from the entire human family. Sound familiar?
Yes.
This is certainly true of the man that Jesus encounters in this story. Jesus had crossed the Sea of Galilee, and he's now in Gentile territory. He comes across a man possessed. Think of your most desperate, craziest moment. Think of your own rock bottom. Were you strung out on meth? Had you snapped and lost your temper? Were you overcome by grief? Or too drunk to stand up? Or were you simply trying to control things that were beyond your power, like maybe somebody else's behavior? Think of your most crazy moment. Jesus approaches this man at his most desperate moment. And what does he do? He simply asks his name. What a human thing to do. This man's ranting and raving, and he says, "What is your name?" The man answers him by saying, do you remember?
Legion.
Legion. Well, Legion is not a name. It's not a Gentile name or any other kind of name. But to everyone within earshot, Legion literally had one meaning. It meant a unit of approximately 6,000 Roman soldiers, the occupying army. Wow. In other words, the man answers by naming just how big and impossible his demons are to overcome. But Jesus has a way of pointing to the demons and saying, that is not who you are. That is what you have let take over your life. You have let fear and powerlessness hijack your brain. You have forgotten to call on me. Oh yeah, I could have had a V8. This is the key to healing in any recovery program. Think of the first 3 steps of any 12-step program, whatever you might be recovering from. We admitted we were powerless over our addiction, that our lives had become unmanageable. We came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understand God. The disease of alcoholism is a terrible problem in the former Soviet Union. Did you know that? Wouldn't it be great to have a mission trip there for us? Did you know that before the collapse of the USSR, Soviet officials appealed to American AA members to help them set up AA groups? However, because the Soviet Union was officially atheistic, they asked that these first 3 steps be omitted in adapting AA. Well, the Americans refused, stating that those 3 steps are basic to the program. We need God. We need a power greater than ourselves to free us from our demons. Don't we know that? Yes. None of us do it alone. Not only do we need God if we hope to be saved from these demons, we need each other. When Jesus heals people, he never does so without restoring them to community. And that is good news for all of us. So be bold, cast out those demons, and love one another. Amen.